Broadcasting live from an Airstream somewhere in Tornado Alley, bringing you the people, places, and stories from the Panhandle to the Red River. This is your Only in Oklahoma show.
And welcome to the show. Today we're discussing the Twister Museum in Wakita, and later on in the show, the Blue Angels blew it out, and I was there. I'm Brett.
And I'm Harley. So with all of the news about the Twister 2 movie coming out,
Well, the
or
news
being produced,
so we've been told. We don't have anything.
we don't have any first-hand evidence like photographs or driving by the production sites or know people that are extras in the upcoming movie. I mean, theoretically upcoming movie. But with all of that talk that's not happening about... Hypothetical talk about Twister 2.
Right.
I thought it was about time that we covered...
A real, like, a factual location, not just something that's been rumored to exist.
Yes, the very unique museum
in the Twisterverse.
For the Twister movie.
Yes.
In Wakita, Oklahoma.
You know, and that's where a lot of the key... they did a lot of the key filming for the original. I mean, here's the thing. When you're a town that of course, like Wakita, that would typically, I'm willing to bet, prior to the Twister movie touching down in your town, I mean, literally.
Yeah.
I think most people just kind of I mean, I don't know that Wakita was a destination location up to this point.
It is a very small town.
It is a small town.
In the movie,
yeah,
Wakita was Aunt Meg's town.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if it was by name, but that's where it was at. Like, physically.
I think I'm almost 100% sure that's true. We can fact check it later. Someone else out there will. The thing I love about getting it wrong is that really challenges people to go that you don't think are listening. Hang on a minute now. You're like, yes, one person's listening and they're pissed off. That's what we're going for. But yeah, I think I'm willing to bet she had the really cool front yard with the, Aunt. She was like an artist who did sculptures and things like that. She had a cool front yard. Yeah, it was a really cool location for sure.
So the Twister Museum was built by the town of Wakita to celebrate and pay tribute to the movie with memorabilia, including photos, movie posters, and even a replica of the Dorothy machine.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that movie.
It's a great movie, and I think, again, I may be wrong, and we've lived here most of our lives. It's really the first time Oklahoma
got highlighted in a movie.
Got highlighted in a movie that didn't involve dancing and singing. You know what I mean? And it was directed fresh off of Speed. It was directed by Jean Dubont, who is a fantastic action director. I mean, it's an iconic movie especially if you're from Oklahoma. It's cool to say this is my home.
One of the things, though, that I find super interesting, this was filmed at a point in time that anybody over the age of 35 is going to have some real vivid memories of.
Yeah.
The Murrah Federal Building bombing happened while they were filming.
Yeah.
And it's my understanding that a huge chunk of the film crew actually helped with the recovery efforts post-bombing.
What a time to be alive. I mean, that's one of those things where you can go into conversations about where were you when it happened. I was in drama class at U.S. Grant High School when we heard a boom, and we thought, as high school kids, oh, it's a transformer. And we had a history teacher that was a Vietnam veteran that was like, that's a bomb. And it was what a surreal time to be alive in the state of Oklahoma. Not to go on that, to trail off on that, but wow, yeah.
Some of the facts about the movie, though, like if you are a film buff at all,
mm-hmm.
There's some real interesting lore, and things that happened, things they did for this movie that are like above and beyond, are just outside of the norm. One of the issues with the movie, was that it was so loud and bass heavy,
mm-hmm.
that the movie itself was notorious for blowing out theater speakers.
Really?
Yeah, that was a regular event that happened.
Wow, I can't see that with the advancements in technology now. I can't see it blowing out the speakers of an IMAX, but back then, wow, that's insane.
You've been around tornadoes a bit.
Yeah, I think we both have, but yeah.
I mean, obviously
not close enough.
As
thank goodness.
Dyed in the wool Okies.
Yeah.
I think we automatically gravitate towards our driveway when there's...
Right, I was going to say, when the sirens go off, the first instinct isn't to seek shelter. It's like, where can I see it? Even if I'm using my crappy iPhone camera.
The sound of the tornado for the movie was a recording of a camel's moan that was slowed down.
Man, you got to really give it up to guys that do Foley operation and sound designers. You think of iconic sounds, think of the lightsabers. Those were created with like a 35 millimeter camera projector to create this iconic sound that literally could wake you in the middle of the night and you'd know exactly what it is. And also for the Twister crew to be able to create the sound that's, granted, I've never been close enough to one. You'd have to ask somebody that's been through one how accurate it is. I'm sure there's a storm tracer that's like, no, that's not right. But in 95, that's a pretty creative way to come up with those sounds with the lack of technology.
And speaking of 95,
good year.
Housing prices were dramatically better in 1995 than they are today. The production company bought 8 blocks of houses in the old downtown area of the real town of Wakita.
Yeah.
For between $7,000 to $10,000 per house.
Jiminy Christmas.
They bought those houses, and then additionally, 30 homes were built by the production company that were subsequently demolished by the film's crew for the scenes after the Twister passes. The town later rebuilt the downtown area and also kept the new fire truck used in the film.
Well, again, we may or may not, we don't have the knowledge, but a bird flying through a windstorm told me that they kind of did the same thing, maybe like that, in a town close to here, made it look like, I don't know, we haven't seen it. We haven't seen the sets.
No, we definitely have not seen anything of the sort.
None of that. So,
and we're going to be talking about it a little bit.
Right.
The air show out of Tinker Air Force Base. Right. Kind of a neat little tie-in.
Oh, yeah.
A jet engine from a Boeing 707 was used to generate the wind in some scenes of the movie.
Ooh, that's rad. That's so cool.
Yeah, I don't think there were flying very many 707s at the air show, but just to give you an idea of the amount of effort that they went to demonstrate the ferocity, is that a word? Ferocity of nature? Sure.
Of nature, yeah. Nature's a fierce. She is a force to be reckoned with.
You're well known.
Yes, I am well known.
Be.
Yeah.
No, hang on. It's common knowledge that you're a VHS fan.
Yeah, not a question about it.
And you're not a fan of DVD.
I have.
But you're not a fan.
No, I got rid of a lot of my DVDs.
This movie was the first movie released on DVD.
I remember something like that, and it was probably $50 for the DVD back then, because we don't know how much to charge something like this.
What's funny is that movie was made in 1995.
Yeah,
it's 2023. DVD's basically dead. I think VHS has a bigger standing in the cinephile universe.
Yeah, it's kind of a niche. The part that I don't like about it is people get snobby about their VHS tapes. Well, that's not the okay, I get it's not the but I have it on VHS. Yeah, but I did used to collect VHS, but it's one of those communities where there's a lot of
pretension.
I'm like, why are you acting like a tea sipper when we're talking about
Gremlins
Cliffhanger on VHS? Yeah,
is Cliffhanger on VHS?
Yes, it is.
Oh my god!
So I have some videotapes, but I'm a Blu-ray 4K guy. I'm into collecting steel books and stuff. But yes, VHS will always have a place in my heart. I have Titanic, I think a couple copies of it, which is on 2 VHS tapes. Remember when they did that?
Oh,
Braveheart. Braveheart, another movie that was on 2 VHS tapes. Like if it was over 2 hours, it would at the end it would say switch to tape 2, or they had a little thing scroll across the bottom. But yeah, I think I may have a copy of Twister somewhere in the rubble of my own VHS collection.
I think it's funny that your copy of Twister has a whole lot of newscasters on it.
Dude, I think that's cool.
That you see every time the weather turns in Oklahoma.
That was for me. You know, the movie, sure, I couldn't relate to Wakita. I knew, you know, I saw it as, oh, it's cool. It was made in Oklahoma. Right on. But the scene where they have Gary England on the monitor, I felt like a child because Gary England's who we grew up with.
Yeah, and
we'll keep you advised. That was the
1969 footage of Gary England was actually 1972 in real life.
Really?
But they actually used that in the movie. It was just a newscast.
Why did you do that? Why are you such a you're freaking killjoy? I was here in my mind thinking that it was 1969.
He didn't actually join KWTV until 1972.
Spoiler alert, everyone.
One of the Dorothy machines, though, is that was used during filming, is now located 650 feet underground in the underground salt museum in Hutchinson, Kansas.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that belongs in Wakita, my opinion.
They have a replica in Wakita. They have a replica in the museum, but the original, I don't think it's ever going to be damaged. It's 650 feet underground. No, like zero moisture.
I will say this about the movie, and maybe I should talk about it at the end, but I'll say it now. As iconic as the movie is, I've seen it recently. It has not aged well.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know that I agree. I think our temperaments are.
Well, it is. We've been conditioned to Kratos, or not Kratos, but we've been conditioned to Thanos snapping his finger and resetting the Marvel universe and all this, you know, laser light shows and stuff like that, which I think, hey, you know what? I love the original movie. A lot of people are poo-pooing on the sequel, but here's the side of the other side of that coin is at least they're choosing to film it here and not turning L.A. into downtown Oklahoma and Arizona into Chickasha, and as long as they don't change the name of Chickasha to something else in the finished product.
Well, I know one of your big draws for the movie was Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah, what a tragic loss.
It wasn't...
And Bill Paxton as well.
For sure. But the movie was originally shot as an R rating.
Oh, I think I'd heard something like that.
Yeah, but they had to cut a bunch of Philip Seymour Hoffman out of the movie because they decided after the fact that it was going to be PG-13.
Ah, he must have had
there's a whole lot colorful language.
Give us the director's cut. It's time for a direct. It's been 25 plus years. The thing that the film nouveau now is the director's cuts. We got the Snyder cut of the Justice League. It's time for the Jean Dubont cut of Twister. The director's cut of Twister.
Dude, I'm telling you, if I got an extra half an hour of Philip Seymour Hoffman, I think I would watch it.
Well, one of my favorite movies that he's in is Boogie Nights, where he plays Scotty. He's perfect. He's perfect in everything that he does. It was such a shame that it ended the way that it did. He brought a charm to that movie. Bill Paxton, obviously being the lead, brought so much to that movie. I think that's the part for me that I'm kind of looking like, I'm kind of side-eyeing the new movie going, guys, gals, you got some pretty big boots to fill. Even if it didn't age well, you got some pretty big boots to fill.
I think one of the things, as far as not aging well, I think one of the things that they had to do for Hollywood reasons.
Yeah.
So, in the movie, the wind picks up when the tornado's on its way, and that's why everybody's alerted that the tornado's coming. Whereas most Oklahomans realize that typically you worry when the wind stops.
Right. It's being sucked into something else. Yeah.
So they did a few things like that for, I think, dramatic effect more than anything. I see a lot of those issues, but overall they did a great job. They had so many little Easter eggs in the movie. The kinetic wind-powered sculptures at Aunt Meg's garden are actually made by sculptor Evan Lewis. One of the characters, Dustin, is wearing an OU hat.
Yep.
And he is wearing that basically because the University of Oklahoma wouldn't allow them to put the logo of the university on Dorothy.
Oh, okay.
That's like one of those Reese's Pieces M&M's things.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
dude, you messed up.
Yeah, you messed up big time. Yeah. I'll be honest, I think I've watched it in the last, I said recently, but I didn't mean it like that. I think I have, it's been probably 10 years since I watched it.
But they did a lot of other stuff, dude. So you know that Ed Harris is from Norman.
Oh, yeah. OU grad.
He was also the star in the movie The Abyss.
Dude, Ed Harris is the freaking boss.
He is the bomb. In the movie, one of the petroleum trucks is called Banthic Petroleum, which is the same oil company that Ed Harris's crew works for in The Abyss.
Oh, really? That's
Yes.
a nice nod.
Dude, that's a sweet touch.
That's a sweet touch, yeah, for sure. Ed Harris, man, he's really good in Westworld. He's really good in Westworld.
I love it. I love everything.
Yeah,
he
he
does,
can't
actually.
do anything. He can't do anything wrong. Absolutely not.
So people that turned down the role of Dustin Davis in the movie: Garth Brooks,
Yeah.
Mark Cuban,
What?
Ware, and Chris Farley.
Okay. I mean, I kind of lean into Chris Farley a little bit, but Garth Brooks and Mark Cuban, the fact that they were on a short list. I'm so glad that they didn't go with it. Nothing against Mark Cuban. He seems like a great guy. He's a smart business guy, but it doesn't fit. Garth Brooks, I could take or leave Garth Brooks, and I'm from Oklahoma. I feel like I just signed my own death warrant when you kind of groan like, Garth Brooks, you're charging $1,000 a seat in Vegas. You're fine, okay?
As far as the museum goes, though, it's like stepping into the 90s, dude.
Yeah.
The walls are adorned with movie posters and stills from the film. You'll find a lot of the props from the film. You can pose with Dorothy, take a picture, and have a souvenir from your visit.
Mm.
They have behind-the-scene videos taken during the filming, which are going. You can see a lot of the debris they used, which I think is cool.
Yeah, I think that's still pretty cool.
And then, autograph photos, Bill Paxton and things of that nature. Dude, I think especially with the possibly new Twister movie.
Possibly. We don't know anything about
coming
it.
out.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a great day trip.
Yeah, I do too. And I'm a sucker for, I like going to the Outsider Museum. And heck, I recently went to Tulsa and visited the grave of Sam Kinison and Leon Russell. And I was super excited about it. I just like being around that kind of, give me some not celebrity, but give me Hollywood nostalgia. And if I can get it close.
No, I agree. But I think more importantly, the museum is not the end of the exploration.
Right.
Because the town itself is in the movie, so you can go and look at the houses.
Right, shot
you can
for
actually
shot.
see the houses and go, oh, that's a house. A lot of people in Wakita actually have windmills painted on their house as a nod to the movie.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's cool.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all for a little town taking full advantage, especially when your town is the star of the movie, one of the stars of the movie.
Yeah, I definitely think it's worth a trip. And if you want more information on the museum, it's twistermuseum.com. I don't think they could have made it any easier for you to get there.
No, it's pretty straightforward. And coming up next, the pattern is not full, Ghost Rider. I like to take pictures, man. I'm a picture-taking guy. You know how hard it is to track a Blue Angel? Better yet, you know how hard it is to track an F-35 Lightning II when it goes supersonic with a cell phone that's 2 years old?
You've always been way ahead of me.
I've been ahead, but here's the thing: I've never heard you complain about your phone.
No, but I don't take as many pictures as you.
Yeah, that's true. I'm kind of.
You're the staff photographer.
I'm the staff photographer. But what I've learned with my iPhone 13 Pro, which isn't a Pro anymore, I think over time it's like the iPhone 13 gainfully unemployed. It takes really good pictures of food and, nice background shots. But like I said, tracking a jet that's going Mach 13, it doesn't cut it. You see it in the viewfinder. Then you get it home and you're like, oh man, I can't show anybody this. It's terrible.
So you are looking to upgrade to the 14. Is it the I can't keep up with the models.
The latest phone lingo. I think it's the 14 Pro and the 14 Pro Max. Now here's the thing. This is why I haven't upgraded yet. I'm with one of the big guys. It costs money. It cost me $100 to upgrade to the newest phone, and then they tack on to this, and then that's why I haven't upgraded yet. Honestly, I'm a tight wad when it comes to this stuff.
Well, I will say that if you lived in eastern Oklahoma, you might have a new go-to.
I might have a lead into something better.
Definitely for your cellular and home internet providers. Yeah. Bravado Wireless. They are locally owned. They are passionate about the community.
Very passionate. Have you heard of a wireless company that was buy local, stay local?
What you're looking for,
right,
is your farm to table cell phone company.
Farm to table phones, exactly. Yeah. Bravado Wireless is that.
They do a bang up job, dude. One of the things that blows my mind is they live stream local events like high school football games, basketball tournaments, dirt track races, rodeos. That's not something that you're ever going to see one of the big box companies doing.
Yeah, especially the only thing that my big box company wants to do for me is charge me more. Something that's almost unheard of. Bravado offers a plan for $40 a month, unlimited talk, text, $40 a month, and you don't have to have a family plan attached to it.
Yeah, that is pennies compared.
I'm literally thinking about moving to Idabel or McAllister. Seriously.
Yes.
Just to get a $40 phone plan and a cool phone, because I'm looking at their phones. They've got every phone that I want at a fraction of the price that I'm paying.
Well, I think more importantly, you're not dealing with one of those huge megacorps, and you're literally doing business with your neighbors.
Absolutely. We talk about all the time, not buying from Amazon and these big box stores that aren't putting back into the communities. As you mentioned before, they are literally wired directly into their communities.
Absolutely. And if you want more information, check out their website, bravadowireless.com, or you can give them a call directly for coverage and cost at 866-500-8488. So our news story directly impacts your recent activity.
Yeah.
News story from KFOR. Tinker Air Force show to close gates after reaching capacity.
Now,
you were part of that capacity.
Well, on day one, I felt like I was going to be part of the capacity. I'd love to give a shout out to the Del City Police Department for their expert ability in not directing traffic properly. But once we got in there, it didn't seem like we were close to capacity, but I think day 2, July 2nd, it's basically the next door neighbor to July 4th. It's the last day of the show. It's been 4 years. Not shocked.
I just want to go on record.
Yeah.
And say, I'm Harley.
Yeah.
I don't have an issue with any of the police forces in Oklahoma. And the person that you want to talk to about traffic issues apparently is Brett.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm cool.
Direct traffic. Don't make this line wait and wait and wait and wait. That's all I'm saying. But we did get in there, and it was a fabulous time. Had a great time. Like I cried. It was that good.
I think it was on hiatus for 4 years.
4 years, and it. You know what? Without mentioning it, it's the thing that shall not be named. The Voldemort.
The C word.
The C word. When you think about, and we'll be highlighting a couple businesses that started in 2019, and things that have happened in the last 4 years, does it just seem like a dream? Is it like we went to sleep in 2019 and woke up in 2023? It just feels weird to say we haven't had an air show in 4 years, or we didn't do this and we haven't done that.
Well, apparently, though, I think it was definitely missed in that time frame.
Oh, yeah, you can tell.
I don't recall ever hearing of the air show filling to capacity.
Never.
I've been to a few throughout my life.
Yeah.
And I don't recall ever seeing that headline, hearing that news, or in fact having the gates closed behind me.
Can I just say, and I love the community, I love the aviation community. Let me preface, but jet nerds and airplane nerds, they're a different breed of cat, man. They've got their P-51 Mustang shirt on and their F-18 hat on, and I was like, I'm in over my head, because these guys know what they're talking about. Because I talked to a guy that owned one of the planes, and he's telling me about it, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I'm like, I don't know what to say other than that's cool. But I had a lot of fun.
I love the idea. And
of what? Being at capacity?
No, of the air show itself.
Yeah.
I will say 4th of July weekend is maybe too hot. Can we push it? Like, nobody liked waiting 4 years. So maybe if we do it in 9 months, 10 months from today, then it'll be cooler out.
Dude, it was hot.
And you won't have to rely on a plane giving you shade.
Right. So we were about to leave, and we can finish the story, but we were about to leave, and the line was from the gate to the hangar to the runway. And we're literally standing in the shade of a ground-to-air missile cannon trying to cool off. Because you're literally, I mean, if that would have been asphalt, there'd have been 1,000 people just dead on the ground. But it was a hot one. I mean, you can see I got a little.
Are you trying to say you got a tan?
I got crisp for sure.
I think it's one of those things where people weren't expecting it, and think with the added flow of visitors to the state of Oklahoma, people here on a tourism-related basis from out of state, things like this are filling up faster. So I think you've got to be on top of it. If you want to be at a thing in Oklahoma, you got to be in line early. You got to know the answers to the questions. You've got to be listening to the Only in OK show.
Oh, absolutely. We're not fly by night, and we're not doing flyovers. We're buzzing the tower is what we're doing.
We will include a link to the KFOR news story in our show notes. And I'm going to say this is probably going on week 19 that we do not have a stinger recorded for our listener feedback. And so I feel bad.
Then I can I can solve it. Ready? And now it's time for listener feedback with your hosts, Harley and Brad.
That was horribly lame. We have somebody that follows us on a platform that we don't give a lot of love to
Fountain?
At all.
Is it Fountain?
No, Rumble.
Really?
Yes, Rumble.com. So we have, on a regular basis, had a fan on Rumble that we were unaware of because we weren't paying attention to Rumble.
We're sorry.
But JW Racing 77
cool.
referenced our last show and said, great show, 4 exclamation points. But he's said something about every single show we've done for a while
man,
now.
JW Racing, I am so sorry. I'm sorry.
We feel bad.
What did you say about the last episode? we just need to commit to JW Racing. What's it? 69?
77.
77. So he's my age. That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah, but he's off. He has a comment for almost every show. On a previous show, we were talking about Casa Roma in Ardmore.
Yeah. And
he commented on the solar energy conversation that we were having and said that he's not a fan. And
Brett doesn't know what he's talking about, and leave the political stuff to Harley. And what else?
I don't think it was anything of that nature. He just, I think he's on the nuclear bandwagon. I'm not 100% sure.
Speaking of not trying to promote anybody else, But there's a little, every now and again I like to highlight some of the little guys. Maybe you've heard of them. Joe Rogan. He's an up-and-comer. But he had Oliver Stone. JW, write this down. He had Oliver Stone on recently. Oliver Stone has a documentary about nuclear power. So
I've never heard of either one of those guys. Oliver
Stone.
Is he related to The Rock?
No, he founded Cold Stone Creamery.
Okay.
He's getting out of the ice cream business and going to make a documentary about nuclear power.
Well, good for him.
So, and the other guy, he's like a karate guy. I don't know. He does something.
Yeah. Everybody in the state needs a roadmap to all of the cool places and events in Oklahoma. And we have not locked down every resident of Oklahoma.
We haven't.
So if you know somebody that loves Oklahoma but doesn't know about us yet, time to let them know.
Well, you know what to do. It's new shows every week right here on the OnlyinOKShow. I'm Brett.
And I'm Harley, and we're out of here.
Peace. Photographical evidence. Phonographical evidence. I have the audio that proves that you punched me in the face. What does that do? You hear the meat slapping. Quit doing that, dude. Get a fly swatter and kill these flies, man. What happened to your assault gun that you had? Your assault rifle.
It doesn't work very well.
Have you seen those water guns? They're battery operated. And you put them in the water and it sucks the water up and they're like, doo, 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 doo. Dude, they're badass, man. I'd like to have one of those. What have we done?
I don't know.
The show. What did I see? Have I seen anything? Oh, I went to the air show. That dude, telling you, man, the air show turned me into a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
When I got there, I was like, whoa, wow, cool.
How's your hearing?
Huh?
How's your...
Dude, have you seen an F-35 Lightning? Those are bad mamma jammers, man. Bad radar jammers, too. Did you know if you go up to one and touch it, it's almost kind of a spongy material because it's basically like a flying satellite. It's crazy. It's a computer that goes like Mach 6. It's insane. But watching that thing go supersonic, it almost brought me to my knees, man. I mean, it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen in person.
Did you take the boys?
No, because it was 160 degrees.
Yes, it was.
And one of them, if you let go of him for just barely long enough to grab your wallet, he's gone. But there are certain things I think your kids might be too young for.
Yeah, like movies and a restaurant.
Basically everything. Basically everything. Do you know that Enter the Dragon turns 50 this year? In this?
Outro.
Sure.
Shows in there.
Oh, yeah. What's our outtakes going to be? Just me talking? Really? Welcome to the show today. We're talking about the Twister Museum, Wakita. Later on, the Blue Angels blew it out. Let me tell you, they did. They went real fast.
Yeah, I found a news story about how quick they sold out. They missed 4 years of it.
Day 2 was a record. They had to shut it down. They couldn't let anymore.
Close the gates.
Yeah, it was crazy. I'm surprised they didn't do it day 1 because it was nutty for sure. We don't know yet. Yeah, like that. I went to the air show. Oh God, I'm McDonald's. Stop it.
No, I wasn't talking about McDonald's. I wanted something like we discussed last week.
That was so funny.
Yeah.
Dude, that was gold. Gold. Did you have something? No, you're trying to find something.
I'm trying to remember. I thought I had a ripple.
What even started? I don't even remember what started that conversation. The Grimace Shake. It's Grimace's birthday.
No.
No?
No, you had said something about who was the cop.
Yeah, but what brought that up? There was something.
Like, who was the cop? A McDonald's cop. Looked it up in a news story.
Man, sometimes those things just happen.
Oh, that's what it's about.
What?
The insistence that this weather is so much, hotter than ever.
No.
It's July.
Yeah, and it hasn't. Let's be 100% honest. It hasn't been.
May and June were a
cakewalk. Yeah, they were a cakewalk. But has it been as hot as it's been in the past? I mean, we've had a 102. You know, other places around Oklahoma have had a 105 and 108. We haven't had it that bad, have we? I mean, and I hate the heat. By the way, best investment I've ever made.
You laughed at me for 2 years.
I know. I found it for $10. I was going to get you one.
You laughed at me for...
I know I did. Dude, it's been a game changer. This is what I wore to the air show. I'm out there like, you know, Tara's like, I need the shade. I need the shade. I'm like, what? Everything's fine. You know, I'm out there just flapping my arms like I'm flying away. Dude, Magellan, if you're out there, we'd love to sponsor you.
They're not.
They're not out there?
They're not an Oklahoma company.
Why? We're having fun.
Your mom's having fun.
She is. She's at home.
The highest recorded temperature in Oklahoma.
What?
July 18th, 1936.
Can I guess?
Altus, Oklahoma.
Altus. So that's down, is that southeast? West. Sorry, I'm terrible. Yeah, it's southwest. It's southwest. Let's strike that from the record since we're an Oklahoma travel podcast. 120.
Yes.
Really? That just sounds unreal. And people are saying, and then
actually,
what?
That's the same record was in Alva, Altus, Poto, and Altus. Altus got it July 19th, 1936 and August 12th, 1936. Poto hit that temperature in August of 1936 and Alva hit it in July of 1936.
That's Death Valley temperatures.
That's
that's what this shirt is. I guarantee in a shirt that breathes like this one, this brand X shirt, you could survive at 120 degrees. It's a dry heat. People say that.
Let's just look at the town we're in, at the weather history for said town. We don't play favorite.
No, we don't. But we're in a 13-story office building though. You know, top of Chickasha Tower.
And all you can see the history of the weather one day at a time. What? Oh, you want to know the weather history on a different day than yesterday? You have to click a different drop-down box and select that day. We're in July. We'll do Oklahoma City.
Are you on weather? Are you on weather?
No, I'm looking at historical weather data. Average high, warm high. Okay, so looking at July in Oklahoma City.
I thought you were going to start doing Chickasha.
I was, but it didn't have any information. Like, literally had to scroll through it day by day and select a drop down and look at yesterday.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking at highs across the ages.
Okay.
103 is the lowest high, and 110 is the highest high.
Yeah.
And those...
I feel like there was a time within the last decade and a half.
1891, 1905, 107 in 1905, 105 in 1906, 108 in 1911, 106 in 1911, 108 in 1915, and the days go on and on and on and on and on. There is no dramatic increase
in temperature. I feel like I said, I was trying to say within the last decade and a half. I don't know why I was thinking we were at 113 at one point. Maybe I was making that up. Maybe it was 103 and I read it wrong.
Not in July. Not in July in Oklahoma City.
Huh.
The highest high in Oklahoma City during the month of July was 110 degrees, and that happened in 1891,
wow,
1972, and 2014.
So your argument for climate change is probably invalid.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a thread of truth, they say, in every lie, and I'm not saying it's a lie, but your argument's kind of wishy-washy.
Okay, and so I moved over to August.
Yeah.
Highs, the highest high, 113.
When was that?
It happened twice.
Okay.
Once in 1931.
Okay.
And once in 1973. Do you want to know the highest high in the last 10 years?
Sure.
For that month? 2012. was 113.
Okay. That makes sense. About a decade ago. Wow, I actually got something right.
Let's look at June.
113. I remember it because I was working outside or something at the time.
June based on year. Based on high. We want to go high. The highest recorded in Oklahoma City was 107 in 1936. The most recent high was 104 in 2012.
I mean,
so as a matter of fact, there's not a day past a year past 2012 that makes the record. Take that back. 2020 had a record high of 96 degrees.
Now I can already hear it. You're not factoring in humidity.
So global warming is all about humidity now?
No, but tell me right now, there's not somebody going, well, what about humidity? If Oklahoma had a weather doll where you pulled the string and it had 200 phrases, 150 of them would be the same thing. So it's a dry heat.
Amber pointed out something to me.
What?
That I do way too often, and I didn't realize that I did it. But since she pointed it out, I hear myself say it. It echoes in my brain when I say it out loud.
Yeah.
We're driving somewhere, and I go, man, it's a windy bitch.
You say that a lot?
I say it every time we drive somewhere.
I mean, I think about the weather often because the weather changed. Earlier today, everything was just fine, and all of a sudden, out of the clear blue, just random straight line 30-mile-an-hour wind for about 3 minutes, and then it stops. Like, we live in, I think Oklahoma is like the bingo thing. It's got all this random weather and random temperatures, and you just never know exactly what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But you look at the trends, we really haven't been in the 1-teens much over the course of history. But humidity, when it's 113 outside with 85% humidity, it feels like 120. But, in like places like Vegas and Arizona where it's what we refer to as really is a dry heat.
Mm-hmm.
110, 120, that's a Monday.
The funny thing, though, is the climate skeptics will tell you that solar activity has a huge impact on the temperature and that there's a solar cycle that's like 10 to 12 years.
Right.
You look at these dates for the highs, 2020.
The math doesn't add up?
No, it does perfectly. 2020, 2012, 2011, 2006, 98, 80, or 88, 80, 53, 36, 34, 33, 25, 24, 2017, or not 1917, 1911. So, there's this obvious, up and down.
Trying to do a little ditty, bravado style.
A California man is going to prison for running a cow dung scheme. Ray Brewer, 66, of Porterville, was sentenced Monday to 6 years and 9 months in federal prison in a years-long scam that bilked investors out of $8.75 million. $8.75 million in cow dung.
That's how many people? That's a lot of people to bullshit.
So he was claiming that he had anaerobic digesters at dairies, basically using microorganisms to break down biodegradable material and turn it into methane, and that it could be sold to producers for renewable energy credits.
Really?
Yes. And so he said he could turn cow manure into methane while they would receive 66% of net profits and tax incentives. He would take investors on tours of dairies where he allegedly planned to build the digesters and claimed to have raised millions of dollars for work. He sent them forged lease agreements with dairy owners, fake loan agreements with banks, phony contracts with multinational companies, and bogus pictures of the machines under construction.
I think some people want to... It would be so easy to take advantage of people if you tell them that it's for for the greater good of the environment.
It reminds me of the Tommy Boy quote. He's like, you can
get a good look
at a T-bone by sticking your
head up a bull's ass, but I'll take. No, I think he said by sticking your head up a chef's ass or a butcher's ass, but I'll take the steer's word for it or the bull's word for it or something. And then he changed it.
Right.
Yeah. People will fall for anything.
$8.75 million.
That's a lot of cow shit. He really, like I said, he really bullshitted these people. And they bought it hook, line, and stinker.
Yeah, I was gonna say that if you were talking to this guy, you'd have to think that something in that whole situation stinks.
Oh, it's utterly amazing that this happened.
Utterly amazing.
I mean, listen, if you bilk me for $1 million, I've got beef. I've got beef with you about it. No, this is definitely something the Hamburglar would do.
Oh, dude,
what?
It was like a Ponzi scheme. He was paying some of the original investors with money he was getting from the new investors.
When you first started this story, I was like, this is a Ponzi scheme, but how can I craft a Ponzi scheme I couldn't tie it, make some clever quip about being Ponzi'd out of a pre-quarter pounder.
He took on an assumed identity and moved to Montana before he was finally arrested.
What did he go by?
I don't know.
The freaking, I'm Jimmy Yellowstone or something. He goes to
66 though. Like, he's not going to be out of jail until 70.
If he makes it.
That's gotta suck.
People with money, or I don't know if he really had any money until he did that. People with money, they don't last in prison, man. They're not built. They're not built like you and I.
Like we're going to last in prison?
No, there's not a chance.
No.
There are people that have went, man, I would ice you in a second. And then I was like, oh man, I wouldn't last in prison.
I wouldn't make it to lunch.
I'd be begging, please don't pick on me, please. What do I need to do to get you to leave me alone? Wait, I know the answer to that. Get me out of here, no. Yeah. $8.75 million.
On all the prison movies, they always you gotta go kill somebody on your first day,
or punch the biggest guy in the yard. I saw a video where they're like dismissing all the what you hear happens in prison. They're like, no, you never want to go hit the biggest guy when you get here, because then you'll have about 10 other guys on top of you ready to freaking just stab you with a fork.
Not to mention, you hit the biggest guy and he's not gonna not hit you back.
Right. It's not. Yeah, you better make it count. It's one of those things where you better kill me. Oh man. Ponzi schemes. When's the last time you heard Ponzi scheme? What's his name that bilked the celebrities? Remember that? What was his name?
It was so horrible.
His last name kind of sounded like a guy that was going to Madoff.
Yeah, Madoff.
Bernie Madoff.
Bernie Madoff. Yeah.
He made off with millions of dollars, and then
his
he ended up.
name should have been like Bernie Ponzi Scheme.
Right.
Like what nationality is that?
Bernie Madoff.
French. It means pretty butterfly.
Yeah. It reminds me of it was a lawyer's office, and they each had like each of their last names kind of added up to be like.
No,
I
want to tell you about this. So I was at Aldi the other day.
Mm-hmm.
My back is blown, dude. I had to get eggs. My chiropractor's like, walk as much as you can.
And don't lift eggs.
No, he didn't say anything about lifting eggs, but literally. So I'm holding the eggs, like I got my 3 cartons of eggs.
Yeah.
And I'm holding them up against my chest like you would if you were holding something heavy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm holding these 3 cartons of eggs like this.
Yeah.
And I get up to the line, and there was a guy, I think he was trying to beat me into line.
Yeah.
But I'm barely moving. I'm going like 2 steps an hour, and I've got, 3 cartons of eggs. If you want there, you can go there. But I literally just have 3 cartons of eggs.
Right.
So he doesn't beat me there, but I think he was trying. Like, he saw me going towards the line, and he made a beeline from across the store. And I'm just, like...
Well, you're short, so you got a little bit a wider stride.
I don't have a wider stride.
Okay, right now, especially.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
But anyway, I get up there and put my... Dude, I don't understand these people. So this guy is A, wearing a face mask.
Okay.
B, he's wearing a
shield.
clear visor.
Yeah.
Over that. He's wearing a 1980s Russian tracksuit.
Oh.
Like Adidas tracksuit.
Nah.
He's wearing gloves.
How does he not die from heat stroke walking around Aldi?
I don't
Honestly.
know. But his face mask was, I want to say it was a Pokemon themed face mask. His tracksuit was black and gold. He was wearing blue gloves, but the killer for me.
Okay.
He's wearing Crocs that look like they were 2 sizes too big for him.
Oh.
And they had flowers on them.
Oh, pudding.
Like pink and purple flowers. Like, I'm colorblind and you're hurting my eyes.
Dude,
Like,
I'm hot. I'm warm natured. You're giving me a heat stroke. Is what it's been like.
But the color scheme
just didn't go.
Dude,
no matter what color it's.
If I get dressed in a dimly lit closet, I will oftentimes grab the wrong belt. I'll grab a black belt instead of a brown belt.
Yeah.
And not realize it until I get out and look in the mirror.
That's funny.
But this guy's wearing every color under the rainbow, and none of it made sense. I'm like, dude, this is visually offensive. God. But as soon as I saw the Crocs, I was like, Brad.
No.
Dude, you and your Crocs.
I like them. They're not. They aren't the most. I'll wear them to the store. I mean, I've even been caught dead wearing them longer than, just a casual walk around. They're comfortable for a little bit, but then the Crocs will attack. They don't. The comfort doesn't last long.
Did you wear them to the air show?
No, I did not. I didn't wear them to the air show. But I will say this about going to the air show. Brett. 3, 2, 1.